Los objetivos más ambiciosos solo pueden conseguirse, al menos yo creo, a través de muchísimo trabajo y de esa fascinación que genera el reto cuando dices algo y dice uno que está enfrente, eso es imposible. La verdad es que no creo en la suerte, pero tampoco creo que cuando me dicen que una cosa es imposible, luego no pueda hacerse realidad, incluido hoy. Este evento, hasta hace unos meses, era solamente un sueño. Muchas gracias a todos por vuestro apoyo y por hacer posible realmente nuestros sueños. He pedido la ayuda de un amigo común para que, además de todas estas cosas que se quedan en el currículum, nos haga una presentación mucho más cercana. Presidente de Publicis España, Miguel Ángel Furones.
A veces tengo la sensación de que nada le divierte más a Esther Valdivia que complicarme la vida. Su última ocurrencia ha sido esta, la de pedirme que introduzca a Maurice Levy. Una trampa sin salida posible, porque si digo lo que pienso de él, quedaré ante todos vosotros, colegas y amigos, como un impresentable pelota. Pero si no lo hago, perderé la mejor ocasión que tal vez tenga para transmitir el tamaño y la grandeza de este hombre. Tal vez la fascinación que me produce este hombre, y por culpa de la cual hoy voy a quedar como un repugnante pelota, es su capacidad de ser estos tres Maurice tan diferentes, siendo, sin embargo, el mismo Maurice.
Y en este momento, cuando este país está tan débil, me parece que la fuerza de la población va a hacer un cambio, va a despertar no solamente las mentes, pero toda la fuerza que hay en este país. Si mira lo que pasó con España durante muchos años, sabes que España ha sido debajo más siempre que estaba arriba. Y me parece que ser de nuevo arriba es una posibilidad que no es imposible. Hay mucho que cambiar en nuestra forma de consumir, la forma de usar los medios, de compartir el aprendizaje, de educarnos. ¿Cómo podemos pasar de la cantidad a la calidad, de la satisfacción del estatus a la satisfacción de las necesidades reales? Los profesionales del marketing van a tener que poner en duda algunas de las creencias más arraigadas sobre el consumo y el crecimiento. Pero deben saber también que los consumidores se interrogarán sobre la empresa que está detrás de los productos. Creo firmemente en el crecimiento y en los beneficios a largo plazo. Pero también creo que igual que existe una forma cínica de ir a ese crecimiento y beneficio, también existe una forma ética de llegar a ese fin. Y el crecimiento ético es el único porque es duradero.
Wearing a shirt. Thank you, Esther, for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. I think it's always very flattering when you're given the opportunity to talk to people who want to hear your points of view on advertising or anything. And while I'm flattered, I also want to give you a warning, which is, this is just my point of view. I don't pretend to have any secret formulas or secret styles or anything like that, or even, I don't even pretend to have wisdom. All I have is my personal beliefs and the way I go about things. So you can take it as you want, enjoy it, or you can actually disagree, but this is just my point of view. and he was a great boss, but I decided back then that I wanted to be my own boss. Because you really know, for me, I wanted to see what I really stand for and what I believe in, and the only way to do that I found, was to start my own place. But Droga 5 didn't start with a business plan. It didn't start with some miraculous point of view. It just started with, as I said, beliefs that our industry can do more with what it has. I love advertising very much, but I'm also very, very critical of this industry. Sometimes the best solutions for an agency are not advertising at all. Sometimes the best solutions are technology. Sometimes they take you out of your comfort zone. And with us as an agency, we are very, very, by choice, conscious of wanting to contribute positive things back to the community. So we work closely with issues that we care about. There isn't, as I said before, there isn't anything that we can't add value to as an industry. We can grow brands, we can launch brands, we can help solve issues, we can raise awareness, we can raise money, we can influence politics, we can help sports teams. I mean, there's nothing that we can't add because we're an amazing industry and we're better than we give ourselves credit for. And my only advice is stay in the everyday, grounded in the everyday, and the best, most inspiring stuff will come from that. And we're all trying to do the same thing. So, thank you very much.
But surely there is another answer here, is that probably linear viewing has been and is still having also a social role that maybe we were not measuring well when we were thinking that the world was dramatically changed towards a more purely no-linear consumption. And it's also true that at the end, going to daily life, we are not just black or white. We tend to have behaviors that, according to the moment of our life or the need that we have, we can be very demanding in terms of having interactive personal experience. In some other cases, and this is valid also for young people, is not being connected by far. The majority of people, if they have to decide between going on holiday with no connection or stay at home with connection, they choose the latter. So this is now how important today. Being connected means being alive for them. And it's a generation that is very engaged, but it's also a generation that is very different from what we think has been our generation, the previous generation, about individualism. So individualism is a word that in this generation is always married with equity. Equity in a sense being fair with people, to be better said. And it's also a generation that, again, far from what I was saying before, be inspired by sex, drug, and rock and roll. They tend to be more people that are looked through our eyes normal. Normal in the sense that they don't want to burn the house, they don't want to destroy society, they are trying to get their own piece of future. That is very easy not to pass from being, if you want, on a Darwinian way, passing from being a lion to being a dinosaur in these days. So I feel that, given that the title of the conference was Mentes, que Despiertan Mentes, I think that it's very important that we keep awake if we want to resist the changes. So thank you.
You find between content and storytelling, because
well, the content was we were trying to be in what you do, like hours and hours of different content every day, and I'm a communications marketing person, so that was a good lesson for me, and it was sort of stick to what you know. It's I think when every creative person I think has their own voice, and when you celebrate your own voice, I think you have success. And when I stick to what I know and what I believe, I feel like I'm better.
Many people have already stopped thinking, let's say, the old way, but I feel that we should, and there were a lot of examples on David Images, to think that people should be addressed when we go to the advertising, commercial communication, not like it is what is expected in terms of the classic way to sell something. because what we are seeing, and this is something that is really pervasive in everything they do, that today they are applying a strong filter when it goes to authenticity. Consider that the new generation of you that I'm more familiar with, they are completely understanding every single that happens. So there is not any longer the possibility to try to show something without thinking that they will not understand everything. So as a consequence, if authenticity, like I believe, is going to become more and more their field.
And they have decided they will do that and that and that, and then at the end of the day, they are confronted with the issue that now they have to pay the invoice. It's there, and they have to pay. Who will be paying this? Future generation, which is unfair to the future generation. And the current situation, in Europe at least, is that the new generation will have situations which will be less good than their parents. And it is the first time in the history of mankind that we have a situation where we have a regression from the former generation. And this is not acceptable. And that's the reason why people say, okay, what are you doing? That is something I strongly believe in, and I think also something which is very important because you are a marketing man, and I don't believe that we should market anymore anything to the people, but we should set to serve the people. And the day we have that in our mind, that we are not marketing product, but we are serving the people by offering them product, this will change everything. It's the way we change the strategy, the communication, the creative, and the relationship. And I can spend all the afternoon on that.